Hi and welcome to my playhouse. And today we're gonna be putting the awesome Lenovo SR650 in the rack. Mostly because it's right in here. It's actually on top of that very old HP DL380 generation 1. Because you guys were so happy about that video with that server that I think I'm gonna do one more. I have the disk shelves, but never mind. The SR650, I put it on top of that because I needed the table in here. So, but right now we're gonna move it out into the data center. So I'm just gonna take the rails and we're gonna go out there and find a spot for it. Let's see. Rails. Gotcha. So we're in the data center and there's a spot for it right here. I was worried about that. I forget what I took out of there, but probably an old M2. I did sell some of those last year. We're gonna take these covers off of there, and there's room for a 2U server right there. Awesome. The rails that comes with this is pretty much the standard Lenovo rails. They are in a box with some instructions. As I said in previous video, I did not get the cable management arm, and I could see in the comments of that video that either people hate that cable management arm or they hate that cable management arm. Me personally, we installed them at work and I don't really hate them, but yeah, we don't use them much, I must say. You install the server and you put in the cables. Most of the time the server never comes out before it's taken out of service again. It just became too old for it to be beneficial to be in the data center. It's not as if we go in and upgrade the RAM and put in network cards, and well, we don't do that much. We buy the right server from the start and then it runs for 4 years and then it's taken out of service and production. So yeah, I can see how people might not want to use the cable management arm. We still put them in, and I still order one every time I order a new server. Yeah, but I see people hate that cable management arm, and I did actually do a little video about the cable management arm that came with the SR650. There are two of them. There is one that is kind of toolless, and then there is one where you need tools, and that was a puzzle. That's probably the worst cable management arm I've ever had my arms on. Yeah, it was just terrible. Normally it's just click click and you're good to go. This was, well, there was a whole box full of pieces and accessories, but never mind. Today we're not installing the cable management arm, so that problem is not a problem. But there are some instructions here. Apparently you can get help on YouTube and Youku. YouTube, of course, being the worldwide video service that everybody loves, and Youku being the Chinese version that no one sees. Well, maybe except the Chinese. I think we can manage this. There is drawings about what to do, so yeah, let's get on with it, shall we? So very well wrapped for pieces of metal. So rack rails like this, when you buy a new server, well, you saw it, they were in the box. They are not expensive. When you get on to this being spare parts, like in 6 years, when you find this server really cheaply on eBay, they might cost as much as the server. Luckily, as I also showed in the previous video, IBM/Lenovo has been running with this system for years. So the same rails will actually work for a lot of different models. I haven't checked if this SR650 is compatible with the awesome Lenovo X3650 Model 5, but I don't see why not. But yeah, maybe we should try that someday. Not today, I'm busy. That's one rail ready to go in. And the other one. There is 2 screws you can do something with and fasten them a little bit better. I haven't seen any reason to put them in yet. So the server has these ears on the side. We'll see that when we get the server in here. But you can kind of see that there are some slots here and that ear goes into these slots. There are 4 slots along the way, so the rails has to be, well, it also says here, it says front right or front R, so this one goes over here, and I do believe that I have to put it in the back first, and the other one goes over here, of course. So let's go around the back. Oh, that's gonna be fun, going around the back. And here we have it. So let's see if we can figure this out. Cable management. Yeah, there's a lot of loose cables. I have a lot of server equipment that is not on. So, oh, and I have another one that is just sitting there. Keep sitting there, please. So we take this out. So we need to extend this a little bit. Oh, and this comes out like this. So we are able to put that in here, pull it out, and then we need to put it in these holes here, those square holes, and then it locks into place and it won't go anywhere. Neat, right? Oh, and this rail is actually pretty cool. It doesn't extend very far. Well, probably when this comes out it's probably about the same then, but let's do it again over here. Oh, and there's a lot of cables are coming out of this M5. We've been messing a lot with this and playing with disc shells and stuff, so yeah, there's a lot of cables ready for that. So, but here's the other rail, and it's really easy. It's just pull this back and put it in the right holes, and you need to put it in the lower. Well, this is a 2U server, but put it in the lower of the 2U and you will be good. So it's locked into place, and you can actually put that screw in there if you're really freaked out about that. I don't see why. It's not going anywhere. Oh, it's not mounted. I haven't done anything without use. Yeah, this goes back, and now we can just, this is really easy. This goes forth and back because the rails can be used with different lengths. I don't know how long well, this is actually pretty long. It goes out far, but well, you pull this back. This is extendable. When the server comes out, well, you can't do that. So you have to take the server out and pull this back before you can release the rails. So the rails are not going to fall out of the rack on themselves. You actually have to remove the server before you can detach the rails again. So this goes just in like this and locks into place like that. And yeah, it's not gonna go anywhere, and we get to see that again over here. When the server is in, these rails will be sticking out far enough so that you can't do that. But when the server is not in there, we can pull them back like that, and this one can extend like that. So, and then we just take this back, put it through the holes here like that, and do like that. Then when we put in the server will actually be able to screw in through here, much like the M5 has a screw down here, and that screw will go through here and lock everything into place, and the server will not leave there on a quiet day. So normally, to prepare for the server, you would take these all the way out, because you need to hit these slots along the way here, and the server is going to be out here. But as I'm gonna go get the server, and I then have to pass these, and they are kind of blocking my door at this point. Door is over here, so I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna go get the server and then pull these out. Okay, server has arrived. It's here on the floor, so now I'm gonna pull these out. Now I don't have to get out of the door. So the trick is to get the slots in the back in first. This takes a lot of practice, and you get tired really fast because the server might only be 18 kilograms, but it's heavy and expensive, and you need to put it in kind of quickly because you are holding it up like this. There, and it clicks down, and you check it before you let it go. Okay, that went really well. Sometimes I do this 3 times before it's in, and sometimes I do it 3 times and then I didn't get it in and I take a break. So I can actually see here I didn't get this front one in, and this is where the locking mechanism sits. You press here to unlock it again. Actually also did not get it on the other side. These slots from here and downwards, they're in. So we get another chance. I can actually lift this up as it is and we can see those slots. As it is sitting in back there, it shouldn't really fall down. But you can kind of see the system here. We have these metal pointy thingies that are sticking out and they fit in the slots of the rail. So I need to press in on this as the server goes down on both sides, and then it's locked into place. So yeah, you got an extra little treat. It didn't go as good as I thought just first there. There is a release mechanism right there. This thing. Right now the server is locked. I'm not able to push it in, which is okay because you can really get your fingers if someone comes by. If you're messing with the cables and someone comes by and try to push the server in, well, your fingers would be in there and that would, well, you could leak all over the place. So there is this release mechanism on both sides that you need to press up, and then the server slides in. And it slides. A little bit wobbly. It should be good. It does say that you shouldn't put anything on top of it when it's out of the rails, and you probably never should put anything on top of it. So here goes in the SR650 in the rack. Here's actually a decent overview of the last 4 generations. This is the IBM/Lenovo X3650 Model 2. Down here we have the IBM/Lenovo X3650 Model 3. We have the Model 4, the Lenovo X3650 Model 5, and the new Lenovo SR650. It's a really nice collection of servers right there. The Model 1 is over here. I've done multiple videos on that, so we can also see them around the back. Up here we had that Model 2. I can see that I have removed the PCI cards that used to be in here. This had the older PCI 2 slots in there. Then we have the new SR650. Beneath that is the X3650 Model 5. And down here we have the X3650 Model 4. And then even further down we have, well, we have no less than 4 Model 3s down there. So awesome. I need to connect some power to this. I am actually quite curious because the Model 5 here has a power supply and it looks very similar to this in the SR650. So I think we should just try and remove power from this and compare those 2 power supplies, just to satisfy my curiosity. I have taken them out. The one with the dust on it is the one from the Model 5. They look very similar. There's a thingy here. They have made a slot in this one. So probably if that's a thing, would be very interesting if this would go in without this slot there. If that's the only thing they have done so that they are not compatible. All the connectors look exactly alike, right? So did they really make that slot just to piss us off? Otherwise I see no big significant difference. Old power supply, new server, and yes, they did make that slot just to yeah, not a fan of that. Why? Okay, irritating. There we are. So we have rack mounted the server. There's really nothing to it. Next thing I have to do is connect some power cables. They're already hanging there from the last server that I took out. But there is also a lot of possibilities when you have to connect the network cables for this. As you saw in the first video, there is 4 10 gigabit network connections around the back that comes out of it, and there is 1 network connection for the management port. The management, well, that could go up to a 10 gigabit switch. That could also just go into a 1 gigabit switch. I have both back there. Even have 10 gigabit copper connections, but there are also other options, and I have somewhat of a little collection that I want to show you. So dealing with SFP pluses, the normal thing is to, well, you put in a SFP plus. Here is some very nice 10 gigabit Lenovo branded ones that will, I am sure they will work in there. And these are just normal ones for users in data centers. You can get some that will work over way longer distances, and the price just goes up. For not very long in the data centers, there is also these direct attach cables where you, well, the idea is that you don't have to convert the electronic signal to a light signal and back again. Instead, you just put wires between them, and they make sure that this cable is perfect. This FS company has kind of shown to be making good products, kind of like that, and they should work very well from my Lenovo server and up to my Ubiquiti switch. So I purchased an assortment of their cables from 0.5 meter and up to 3 meters. I don't think I'm gonna need anything longer than 3 meters in my racks, so I got that. Also, we could put in some of these. This is actually from SFP to copper converter, and we get an RJ45 connector out the back. That's another option. These are 1 gigabit. I actually went ahead and I purchased a 10 gigabit one. This is a very good example of over packaging. I actually left this in the box to show it because this is just ridiculous. So we open the box, and the box is it's wrapped in this air stuff, and there is a box inside of that. So we open that up, and inside this box there is a plastic container, and we take that out, and inside that plastic container, oops, there is our little SFP plus to 10 gigabit copper converter thingy. That has taken up a lot of space in some mail truck. I'm gonna save the connecting this server and booting it up for the first time for the next video. Sorry about that. The SR650 is mounted and it looks rather nice. If we should just test one little thing at the very end here, we could take a disk. We could just try and take out one of these drives here from the M5 and try it out up in the SR650, just to make sure that, yeah, they fit. Cool. I don't like very much when they change the standards. Then we have to go out and buy a lot of new stuff, you know. So yeah, cool. So thank you very much for watching this short video on mounting the server. Please remember to give this video a like. I didn't break anything, I promise. Other than that, you should also go over and check me out over on Patreon, where you can help and support what I do here, buy all this expensive equipment. But thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.